Let us try to solve some examples. So what does it say? In an AP, the mth term is n. So let's say we write mth term tm. So this will be equal to a plus m minus 1 times d. So the mth term is equal to n. So this is equal to n. And nth term is m. So nth term tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 times d. This is equal to m. And m is not equal to n. Find the pth term. So basically we have these two equations, and if we are able to find a and d, then we can easily find any term that we want to find. So this is our equation 1, this is our equation 2, and we have seen in the chapter of pair of linear equations we can just subtract it. So when you subtract it, the sign changes. Then we have the a and a gets cancelled out, and here what do we get? D as common, and we have m minus 1 minus n plus 1 is equal to n minus m. Therefore we have 1 and 1 gets cancelled, so we have d times m minus n is equal to, if you take minus common here, then we again have minus n. So m minus n divided by m minus n, it goes away as d is equal to minus 1. You can try to solve all these things by yourself. So d as minus 1, and now we substitute the value of d back into equation 1, let's say. Then what do we get? If we substitute d as minus 1, we get a is equal to okay, so we substitute d as minus 1, so we have a minus m plus 1 is equal to n. Therefore we have a as m goes to the other side, a as m plus n minus 1. So now we have the value for a, we have the value for d, and now we just need to find the pth term. So what will the pth term be? The pth term will be equal to Tp is equal to a plus p minus 1 times d, or we have a as m plus n minus 1, m plus n minus 1, and we have d as minus 1. So this thing gets minus p plus 1. Therefore 1 and 1 goes out, and we have the pth term as m plus n minus p. So this is our answer. Let's have a look at another example. It says if the sum of n terms in AP is this expression where p and q are constants, find the common difference. Okay, so we are given a general expression for the sum of n terms. So the sum of n terms is equal to, here Sn as n times p plus 1 by 2 n minus 1 q. So it's given here that the sum of n terms is this, and we need to find the common difference. Now let's see how do we approach this. So let's say we have the AP in this form, so a, and the second term is a plus d. Now if we plug in 1 in place of n, then what will we get? We'll get sum of 1 terms, or sum of 1 term will be equal to the first term. If we now replace n by 2, then what will we get? We'll get sum of 2 terms, and that will be equal to a plus d, that is 2a plus d. Now what we could do is, in order to find the second term, we can subtract s2 minus s1, which will be equal to a plus d. So now we would get the value for second term, we know the first term, and the common difference will simply be t2 minus t1. So let us so this is the approach that we are going to follow. So let us start by finding s1. So s1 will be equal to 1 times p is p plus 1 by 2, 1 minus 0 is 0, so everything becomes here 0. So s1 is equal to p. Therefore we get our first term as p. Now let's find the sum of first two terms. So sum of first two terms will be 2p plus 1 by 2 times 2 minus 1 is 1 times q. Therefore this thing goes away, or we have sum of two terms as 2p plus q. Now let's just find the second term. So in order to find the second term, what do? We subtract the sum of first two terms minus sum of first term, s2 minus s1, which will result in the second term. So 2p plus q minus p, that is p plus q. So this thing is our second term. So we know the first term, t1 is equal to a is equal to p. So now we know the second term, so we need to find the common difference equal to t2 minus t1, which will be equal to p plus q minus p, or this is equal to q. So the common difference here is equal to q. This is the answer. Let us solve another question. What does it say? The sum of n terms of two arithmetic progressions are in the ratio this. Find the ratio of 12 terms. So okay, so we just start with, let's say our first arithmetic progression as AP1, and we say this has the first term as A1 and the common difference as D1, and the AP2 as A2 and D2. So the first term is A2 and the common difference is D2. This is for the second arithmetic progression. Now we need to find the ratio of their 12 terms. So what will be the 12th term for first AP? It will be A1 plus 11 D1. So this is the 12th term for first AP, and the 12th term for second AP will be A2 plus 11 times D2. So this is equal to question mark. We need to find this ratio, and what we are given here, we are given the sum of n terms of two arithmetic progression. So what do we have here? Let's say we have sum of first AP divided by sum of second arithmetic progression. This is equal to 3n plus 8 divided by 7n plus 15. So this is given in the question. So we know the expression. How do we write the sum of n terms of an AP? It is given by n by 2 times 2a. So here we have 2a1 plus n minus 1 times d1. So this is the sum of first AP, n terms of first AP. Similarly for the second AP, we have n by 2 divided by 2a2 plus n minus 1 times d2. The number of terms is the same, n, in both the cases. So this thing and this thing goes away, and what do we have here is 2a1 plus n minus 1 times d1 divided by 2a2 plus n minus 1 times d2. This is equal to 3n plus 8 divided by 7n plus 15. Now what do we need to find? We need to find this ratio, a1 plus 11 times d1. So somehow if we could get a1 plus 11 times d1 here, a2 plus 11 times d2 here, then the question would be solved. So one thing which you could think is, if you replace n by 23, so what do we get here? 23 minus 1 will be 22, and if you take 2 out, then it will be 11. So this is how you think about it. So let's go ahead, we replace n by 23. So what would we get? If you take 2 as common, you get 2a1 plus 23 minus 1 would be 22. So it will become 11 d1. Similarly, we will have here 2 times a2 plus 23 minus 1 will be 22. If you take 2 out, this will be 11 d2. And here we will have 3 times, what is n that we substituted? 23. So 3 times 23 plus 8, 7 times 23 plus 15. So this thing goes away. Just to write here clearly that we substituted n with 23 in order to get this ratio. Now what do we need to do? So this is our ratio, what is there, and we just need to solve this ratio. So solving this ratio would be equal to, if you solve this, it will come out to be 7 divided by 16. Therefore what we have is a1 plus 11 d1 divided by A2 plus 11D2 is equal to 7 by 16. So this is the required answer. That is the ratio of 12th term of first AP divided by the 12th term of second AP. So we have our first term as 3, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the first term, that is the salary in the first year. Now in the, what does the question says? The question says that he receives an increase of rupees 10,000 to his income per year for the next 19 years. So for next 19 years, every year he receives an increment of rupees 10,000. Therefore, his income is forming an arithmetic progression. So we have D as rupees 10,000. Find the total amount he received in 20 years. So what is the question? N is 20. So we have an AP, the first term is this, the common difference is this. Now we need to find the total amount he received in 20 years. That is the sum of the first 20 terms of this AP. That is, we need to find S20. So what will be S20? S20 is equal to N divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. N by 2 times 2A. So 2A will be 6 lakh. 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. N by 2 times 2A plus N minus 1. So N minus 1 would be 19. 19 times this thing. 19 times D. 19 times 10,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you solve this, you will get something like this one would be 60, 79. So 79 and 4 zeros here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more from 10. So this will be his total, 1,600,000, 10,000 lakhs. So 79 lakh. So the person would receive 79 lakh in total in 20 years. So I just wanted to show you a few examples. How do we solve questions in arithmetic progressions that you may see in your real life, or maybe during your examination or somewhere else. So now it just depends on your practice. The more you practice, the more you get comfortable with it, and in the end it just boils down to understanding the question, breaking the question into different parts and writing them first in terms of mathematical equations, and then trying to understand which mathematical concepts can we apply, where can we apply, and which would be the easiest and fastest way to do it. So the more you practice, this flow will get more into you, and you will be able to solve the questions or problems, and maths will be fun. You can find all the lectures on arithmetic progression in this playlist here, and also the lectures on pair of linear equations in two variables in this playlist here. Also, please subscribe to the channel and share it among your friends. Thank you.